We are sorry to have kept you for this long, but we are now ready to go. Sijui kama mko tayari. Leto ndio huwa natupa hiyo signal, simuoni hapa leo, nani ndio? Asante. So mkiwa tayari tunaweza tukaanza. Are you ready? Na asanteni, kwanza ni wakaribishe nyote hapa Chui House. Na nishukuru sana ya kwamba tulianza mwaka hapa Chui House Januari tarehe 27 tukianza hii safari, na mulikuwa nasi hapa wanahabari wote tukianza hiyo safari. Nakumbuka siku hiyo ndio ilikuwa siku ya kwanza kumkaribisha His Excellency Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua, the second deputy president after the November impeachment. Tukaungana hapa Januari. Sasa leo nina furaha sana kumkaribisha hapa tena His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, karibisha His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, ndugu yangu Mheshimiwa Linturi, Mheshimiwa JB Muturi na viongozi wa upinzani, the United Opposition, hapa kwenye Chui House, ambako leo tunataka tufunge mwaka tukiwa pamoja, na vile vile tukichukua nafasi hii kuzungumzia masuala mbalimbali, masuala nyeti yanayohusu wa Kenya, na vile huu mwaka umekuwa na kule tunaenda mwaka mpya. Na tuchukue nafasi hii pia kuwatakia wa Kenya wote Jamhuri Day nzuri kesho wakisherekea, na vile vile Christmas njema na mwaka mpya. Hii itakuwa our end of year address na wa Kenya kabla we break for Christmas na kwenda sehemu mbalimbali za taifa kusherekea na familia zetu na watu wetu. Tushukuru sana all our supporters across the country na wa Kenya wote wale tumetembea pamoja mwaka huu. Na sasa kwa kimombo nitasoma ile statement yetu tuko nayo, alafu nitaalika vinara wa vyama vyetu vya United Opposition vile vile waweze kusema na Wakenya na kuwatakia Christmas njema. So if you are ready, we'll proceed to now give our official statement on this 11th of December, on the eve of Jamhuri Day, where Kenyans are preparing to celebrate 62 years of Jamhuri tomorrow. And Kenyans are also preparing for Christmas after tomorrow. Many will be traveling. And we want to say that 62 years of Jamhuri, defending our assets, defending our dignity, is the theme of our message today to our fellow Kenyans as we celebrate Jamhuri. And we have put together a joint Jamhuri Day address by the United Opposition, which is the government in waiting. We will be hearing from the government, the broad-based government, tomorrow. And we wanted to speak to Kenyans before tomorrow. Today we gather not simply to mark a date on the calendar, but to stand in solemn witness to the blood, the courage and sacrifice that built this republic 62 years ago. On 12th of December 1963, Kenya shook off the shackles of foreign rule and took her first step into self-determination. A year later, on December 12th, 1964, we declared ourselves a republic, a nation of our own, led and defended by the sons and daughters of this soil. This day is not ceremonial formality. It's the crown jewel of our sovereignty as a nation. It is a day to reflect on the struggles, the sacrifices, and the victories of those who came before us. The Kapenguria Six, Dedan Kimathi, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Piogamo Pinto, Wambui Otieno, J.M. Kariuki, Koitalel Arap Samoei, Mekatalili Wamenza, and countless unnamed heroes across every community: Luo, Kamba, Luya, Kikuyu, Masai, Meru, Embu, Somali, Mijikenda, and all communities in our country. They believed, they fought, they bled, and some died so that we might inherit this land, this republic, this dignity. Fellow Kenyans, independence was never a gift. It was earned through blood, sweat, and relentless courage. Forests became battlegrounds, towns became prisons, schools became sites of resistance. Independence was bought with sacrifice, and every story, every name, every life lost, a lesson for today. We must never forget that the republic belongs to the people, and it is our sacred duty to defend it. And yet, 62 years later, that sacred inheritance is under threat. National assets like Safaricom, Kenya Pipeline, KCB, JKIA have been pawned, mismanaged, and sold without transparency, without public participation, and without regard for the law and the constitution of our republic. These are not mere businesses. They are the backbone of our economy, the gateways of our sovereignty, and the pillars of our republic. Every transaction that does not include the people, for the people, undermines them and is an affront to our history. Look at the facts. Safaricom, our national crown jewel, had 15% of its shares sold at a fraction of its true value. Kenya Pipeline, the lifeline of our energy sector, is also facing the same threat. JKIA, our gateway to the world, has been compromised in management decisions favoring profit over national security. And KCB, a pillar of financial system, has been manipulated to benefit a few insiders. This is not economic reform. This is international neocolonialism, a quiet auctioning of our sovereignty. Fellow Kenyans, the courts have intervened on Safaricom, on KPC, on JKIA, and we have just received good news that the court orders have been issued against the opaque US-Kenya health deal that was signed recently without any public participation. But the intention by this nefarious regime was clear: a systematic, step-by-step erosion of our sovereignty. This is neocolonialism by insiders, a form of recolonization disguised as policy, defended with silence and apathy. We cannot allow or entertain this. Sovereignty is not symbolic. It's a sacred and constitutional duty. From the peaks of Mount Kenya to the shores of Lamu, from Lake Victoria to the plains of Narok, every Kenyan has a stake. The republic is ours, and we will defend it with courage, with unity, and with vigilance. Every pipeline sold, every share disposed, every asset compromised is a betrayal of the generations who fought for our freedom. We call on every citizen, every institution, every civil society organization, and every community to rise up. Protect our pipelines, our airports, our companies, our financial institutions, and demand accountability. Defend our sovereignty. Let no one mistake silence for consent. We must defend our assets, our minerals, like the gold in Migori, and Kakamega, and Busia, that are now under invasion, to restore dignity and reclaim our republic. Most significant, we must defend our multi-party democracy that is now under existential threat from this rogue regime. We witnessed in the recently concluded shambolic 27th November 2025 by-elections that the chairman of IEBC, and I was very surprised on Monday, I think the 8th, listening to Chairman Ethicon saying that elections cannot be stolen in Kenya. It's an impossibility. Is he a stranger in Jerusalem? This position has already been contradicted by very credible observers who participated in these by-elections, including the Kenya National Human Rights Commission. We heard from them. The indictment was harsh in terms of how IEBC failed to conduct these elections properly. We have also heard from ELOG. They also returned a very harsh verdict, and both have said, and many others, that including the Law Society of Kenya, and we must thank them for this, that the just concluded by-elections were not free and fair. They were heavily rigged in favor of state-sponsored candidates, and they were tainted by violence, mostly from goons, state-sponsored goons and backed by the police, intimidation and corruption. We are demanding immediate action against perpetrators of these electoral offenses, like in the case of Malava, and I think we have our candidate here, the Honorable Panyako here, who underwent serious terror in terms of violence by goons and state-sponsored gangs. There were leaders who are known, who led the goons, who participated in organizing, in financing these goons and the violence that was visited, particularly in Malava and in Bere. These two were the hottest targets of this system because of the political implications that would confirm a win in Bere for the United Opposition, that the mountain is gone. A win in Western for the United Opposition, that Western is out of the reach of this regime. We are demanding that those who participated, including leaders like Nabina Bwera, the MP for Lugari, and we did issue a statement on the eve of that by-election with my brother Kalonzo and Rigiji. We warned that the gangs were being unleashed, and in Malava, Nabina Bwera was going to lead the goons. And we were on the ground with Honorable Panyako. We saw Nabina Bwera leading these goons. We saw Stanley Livondo leading the goons. We saw former CS Sports, Rashida Chesa leading the goons. We saw Esther Muhanda, Women Rep Kakamega, distributing relief food, mattresses, blankets. All these are documented, and PSs, Beatrice Nyangala and others. These are people who are known. Reports have been made of IEBC to the police. What we are demanding is action, that all these leaders be held to account. And IEBC has the powers to call off an election because of violence, where there were deaths like in Kaspul, 2 people died, in Chwele, 1 person died, many were maimed, vehicles burned. They had the powers to call off this election, but they did nothing. They have the powers to actually suspend anyone who participated in this perpetration of violence, including barring them in participating in future elections, and barring them, recommending them being barred from holding public office in future. This is how we are going to tame these ugly scourge of violence in our elections. Because under Article 81, where there is violence, we cannot say there's been free and fair election in the face of intimidation and corruption. So we are demanding that that action be taken. And we are also, as we had announced before, looking at taking action against the chairman himself and the CEO, Marjan. The United Opposition therefore pledges that national assets belong to the people. They will never be sold without the consent of the people of Kenya, including Safaricom. Sovereignty and constitutional rule are not negotiable. This is what our forefathers fought for. This is why we are celebrating Jamhuri Day tomorrow. Citizens and institutions must uphold accountability, transparency, and constitutionalism. We will resist attempts to diminish our republic through rutopreneurship, rutobottomship, and RUTO'ism. As we end, we know that after Jamhuri tomorrow, the nation will be preparing for Christmas. But it's going to be a very bleak Christmas for many Kenyans because of the economic situation in this country. Many families can hardly put food on the table. Many with pay slips are depressed. They have nothing to take home for Christmas. And we also have many who are facing drought up north, Mandera, Wajir, Garissa. And this is a situation that we are now demanding that even as we go to Christmas, Kenya is facing serious drought. Yet this regime chose to actually use relief food like beans, rice that they were distributing to bribe voters in rain-rich areas like Kakamega, where it rains almost every day and we have enough food. This is what they were using. Relief food that should have gone to northern Kenya came to western Kenya, went to the mountain and other areas where we had elections. We also had non-food items like blankets, mattresses being distributed by CSs, PSs, and officials of this government, including letters of appointment being distributed by the Prime Cabinet Secretary in public at rallies to woo voters. What we are saying is that this was a shameful thing for the government to do. It was irresponsible, because those families who are facing the disaster of drought are the ones who need this support, which they are not receiving. So we are calling for urgent and immediate support by both the national and county governments, and we urge county governments to reallocate their budgets to address the urgency of now, particularly because of the drought. And we're also calling upon the international community to come in so that the affected families, affected counties and communities can receive the support. We are also urging that Parliament prioritizes comprehensive legislative framework for disaster risk management. And before I left the Ministry of Devolution and Special Programs, we had already proposed the disaster risk management bill that was before the House. This bill is currently undergoing mediation through a committee of both houses, and we are urging that the same be prioritized and be fast-tracked, because it has all the mechanisms required to improve coordination between national government, the county governments, and international players in disaster risk management. In spite of these early warning mechanisms put in place by NDMA and Meteorological Department, this government has failed up to now as we speak, and we've heard the cry of the people of Mandera and other counties to put in place remedial measures such as early animal offtake to cushion particularly the pastoralist communities who are facing drought now against heavy losses of their livestock, because as we speak they are losing a lot of livestock, and God forbid if we lose any lives this Christmas. This is as a result of the biting drought, and we are also demanding that the money that they have been splashing all over, they cannot say the government has no money to start this animal offtake to cushion these families when they have been splashing millions and millions on these by-elections. So we demand immediate action to avert any further losses of livestock or lives of our fellow Kenyans. Fellow Kenyans, finally, on this 62nd Jamhuri Day, we honor the past, we confront the present, and we will remain united and vigilant and the united opposition to protect the future. Independence was hard-won. The Constitution was a gift of the second liberation. Today we defend both with courage, conviction, and unity. Kenya shall not be sold. Kenya shall not be auctioned. Kenya shall not be colonized by outsiders and insiders and their cronies. We thank you all for coming to listen to us. May God bless our republic, and may we take this opportunity to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I would like to invite my colleagues to also wish Kenyans a Merry Christmas and say a few words. His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Karibu, karibu.
Well, thank you. We stand, of course, firmly in support of what has just been read. And I know even our colleagues who are not here with us today are part of the statement. Unless to begin to say that united opposition is not indeed united. We are all in solidarity. Let me just say kwa Kenya wenzangu, wenzetu, kesho ni siku yenye umuhimu mkubwa sana. Yes, sir. Najua this guy is tall. Hata hii chukuene. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wakenya wenzangu, wenzetu, kesho ni siku yenye umuhimu mkubwa sana. Tukisherehekea awamu ya 62 tangu tujinyakulie uhuru. My brother Rigiji and who else was with us in when we were burying Herbert Karidhi just the other day. A gentleman who was born on the 1st of June 1962 and he died a grandfather. So we have really literally come of age. And that's why we have to be very bold as Kenyans to say it as it is. This is our country. Constitution 2010 is a document that continues to hold us together. And begins by saying the preamble, we the people, sisi wananchi wa Kenya, the sovereignty of the republic, which we are all determined to uphold, is vested in the people of Kenya, each one of us. This is why boldly we must face the future together, and we have highlighted what has. We are not going to be demanding. We are going to take action, because we know we are talking to people with wax in their ears. And so when we say we are going to prosecute the chair of IBC, private prosecution, along with Mr. Marjan, take it seriously. Take it very seriously. We stopped them when they're trying to auction JKIA, and we will stop them. We have also made it clear, either be outsiders interested in buying off Kenyan assets without proper public participation, without we, the people, we are sending out a strong warning to them that those things will be countermanded. We will not allow this country to be auctioned. So today, of course, we are eagerly wait to see what the results of the recent election and the results of the recent examinations, curriculum-based education. We all know there's been confusion even in that sector. It's like a groping in the dark every step of the way. We know that as schools open, the plans are there to hide, play, or to bring down capitation to schools. And actually, gentlemen and ladies, I had a very serious that the late George Saitoti, after we formed the 202 government, the NAC government, Saitoti was appointed the Minister for Education. I'd been myself Minister for Education for 3.5 years before, and it was Saitoti and a gentleman called Enus, I think it was, who eventually joined EACC and was bastardized or whatever, and Price Waterhouse worked out this issue of capitation, even as we introduced free primary education under Kibaki administration. This is what is now under threat, the whole lot of it. Education is in shambles. Our university lecturers resume, if they are not paid as in agreement with whatever was recently agreed, they are ready to go back to the streets. Imagine our education sector is a mess. Our health sector is equally a mess. So we don't want to spend time talking about all those things. We know SHA has not been working. Nothing seems to be working under RUTO'ism is not working at all. And we are not here to pretend all is well in the country. We are preparing as united opposition to take leadership. And of course, the good thing is 2026, just a few days from now, we'll be talking about elections next year. So Kenyans, get ready for takeoff. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We would like to invite the party leader of DCP, His Excellency Gachagua. And since we started this journey here, huyu mwanaume amepitia mambo mingi sana. Pigwa tear gas kanisani, PCA huko, pigwa huko kwa Matanga, Limuru. Now he's a target. What used to be Railaphobia has now become Rigathi-phobia. And they're trying to sell Rigathi-phobia to try and divide the opposition, drive a wedge between Gachagua, Kalonzo, Wamalwa. We will not allow it. 1 year now, we've remained united. This coming year, we will remain united until we accomplish our mission. May I invite him to speak to the nation?
Thank you very much. Let me also take this opportunity to wish the great people of Kenya a Merry Christmas and a very happy 2026. March, as we know, that Kenyans have nothing to celebrate. Kenyans depart their villages in anguish, in despair, lacking, not able to put a meal on the table. The economy is not performing, despite the State of Nation address by William Ruto in Parliament saying that the economy is doing much better. Kenyans know differently. As I have said many times, you don't need to tell Kenyans that there is economic growth. They know it when it is happening. During the tenure of Mwai Kibaki, Kenyans will talk of economic growth without relying on any statistics or any economic survey. You remember we had banks hawking loans. They would be having tents outside banks inviting the people of Kenya to come and get money to do business. The economy was thriving and Kenyans knew. So as we proceed for Christmas and New Year festivities, Kenyans are in distress. Kenyans are worried about January because capitation is not available. They have to dig deeper into their pockets to pay school fees for their children. The free primary education initiated by Mwai Kibaki is no longer the case. The free secondary education brought by Uhuru Kenyatta is no longer the case. But we want to ask the people of Kenya to stay focused and not to give up. Let me take this opportunity to urge the people of Kenya and new media and our political competitors not to fall for the false narrative by William Ruto. William Ruto is trying to tell the people of Kenya that the problem of Kenya is tribalism. And the most urgent thing is to unite the country. There is no community in Kenya that has a problem with any other community. Even you people of the press who are here, you are from different communities and you have no issue with each other. Kenyans are all united against oppression, against poverty, and against all the evils that bedevil the republic. We want to tell William Ruto, don't tell the people of Kenya that the problem is tribalism and lack of unity in the country, because you know it's a lie. That is diversionary. The problem of Kenya is theft of public resources. The problem of Kenya is wanton corruption. The problem of Kenya is misappropriation of public resources. The problem of Kenya is disregard of the rule of law. The problem of Kenya is abductions and extrajudicial killings. The problem of Kenya is wanton and open and shameless bribery in State House of Kenyan voters. Those are the problems that bedevil our country. So please, let people not be swayed and diverted to chase a false narrative about tribalism and lack of unity in the country. Those are not challenges in this country at all. The problem of this country today is the raiding of the payslip. All workers are in anguish. Their payslips have been raided. Those are the real challenges that faces the people of Kenya. So as we proceed to Christmas, let the people of Kenya focus on what ails our country so that we can get a solution. And the solution is one town. And that is the way it is. And that is the way it shall be. So let's all stay focused, and I ask the media and commentators to focus on the real challenges that face this country. And those problems are real, and if you talk to Kenyans when you go for Christmas, they'll tell you, we have a challenge of a destroyed education system. We have a challenge of a failed health system. Those are the challenges before the people of Kenya. Let William Ruto not cheat the people of Kenya that there is a problem of lack of unity in the country. All Kenyans are united against poverty, against oppression, against misappropriation of public resources, against sale of public assets. Those are the real challenges that face our country. And we want you media to help us to really anchor the real challenges that face the people of Kenya. So hata nyinyi watu ya media pia tunatakia nyinyi Christmas. You know, for those of you who will go to Nakuru and Western Kenya, mkifika pale Limuru, where Ruto launched the Rironi Mau Summit Road, there is only a signboard. There is no equipment, not even a wheelbarrow. So the real challenge of this country is lies by William Ruto. You know, he was there in a very grand ceremony. And I want to challenge you, those of you who are going to that part of the country. When you reach Limuru past Kwambera, you slow down. There is only a signboard. There is nothing. And he launched the road with a lot of fanfare. You know, there is nothing going on. And elsewhere, there is nothing that is going on. Na wale mnaenda Western mkifika huko mwambie watu ya Kakamega wasikubali gold yao iuzwe na watu wengine. You know, the whole of Western, there is a lot of gold under. Ile shimo anachimba pale, hiyo ni ya kuingia huko chini. The gold is all over the whole of Western Kenya. And that gold is preserved. It will wipe out poverty from Western Kenya. And we're asking the people of Western Kenya to resist the theft of their gold until we form government, so that we can negotiate with the people of Western Kenya. How does that gold benefit them? Because it's God-given. They were given by God free of charge. And it must count for something, and it must transform their lives. Asanteni sana, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Gijia amenikumbusha Kalonzo alienda kwa ile barabara ililonchiwa akapata hakuna kitu. Hiyo ni vile. Na tukaambiwa kuna watu walikuja wakibeba vidole viwili wakafikiria ni 2 term. Tukumbe wanasema na imebaki miaka 2 tu mtu aende. Na tuko hapa na kiongozi wa DP, former Attorney General, former Speaker, ambaye nataka nimwalike aje. He's also come out of a meeting with our lawyers over Mbeere. Just the way Honorable Panyako is here, we have also met our lawyers about Malava, and we are preparing a legal challenge to the atrocities committed both in Mbeere and in Malava. May I invite the Honorable JB to speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First, I also wish to confirm that I fully associate with the statement that has been read out. And just to confirm to Kenyans that yes, indeed, we are historically supposed to enjoy and celebrate Jamhuri Day. The unfortunate bit this year is that there is really nothing much to celebrate other than to remember the heroism of those that fought for independence. Because as has been confirmed both in our statement and from my colleagues who have spoken before me, there's really nothing to celebrate. Honesty, truth have been criminalized. I hope Kenyans don't clap or won't clap for William Ruto if he says again, if he repeats tomorrow that since he took office, he has never taken a shilling that belongs to the public. Because I'm sure even you colleagues from the media, you actually can tell somebody who has never taken a shilling out of public coffers is able to invite 10,000 teachers and give them 10,000 shillings each. Where will you say that came from? Parliament has not passed a budget authorizing him to spend that kind of money. Where will you say he gets the money to call 10,000 chiefs and assistant chiefs and bribe them with 10,000 shillings each? Yet he has not taken a shilling from the public coffers other than the salary, which we all know how much it is. So I'm just cautioning Kenyans, please don't celebrate that, because he is likely to repeat that lie. Because William Ruto is a guy of theater. He likes theatrics. High-sounding phrases, making Kenya Singapore. Yeah? How do you make Kenya Singapore when corruption is the order of the day? I hope he has read actually a Liquid News book properly, so that he is not hallucinating about making Kenya Singapore in the next few months that are remaining in this presidency. Because for sure, we in the United Opposition are determined to rescue this country. Lazima tukomboe nchi kutoka kwa utawala mbaya, utawala ambao kile kimekita mizizi zaidi ni ufisadi. And we must celebrate some of our institutions. that are still remaining faithful to the country, faithful to the provision, the requirements of the leadership and integrity provisions in our Constitution, principles and values of governance as enshrined in Article 10 of our Constitution, which William Ruto has completely ignored, because William Ruto considers the current 2010 Constitution an inconvenience. And as you can see, by what we hear from the people that always visit State House, Mheshimiwa Rais tunakuomba hii, Mheshimiwa Rais nakuomba barabara, Mheshimiwa Rais, and Mheshimiwa Rais has completely mistaken that to mean that the country is a private business. And it's no wonder that shamelessly he will assemble high-end crowds to go and purport to be launching the Riloni Mau Summit Road, which I advised against cancelling the original contract with the French, and which cancellation has come at the cost of over 6.5 billion Kenya shillings to a taxpayer. That is surely not testimony of a person desirous of elevating this country to any level, let alone to the level of Singapore. And that's why I say we hope William Ruto in his hallucinations tomorrow in a speech, he does not again doing Kenyans about his faithfulness, that he has never taken even a shilling. These are all hollow phrases that he has only perfected over the years. But all is not lost. All is not lost. I know Kenyans are resilient. Kenyans are courageous. I want to require to pray that Kenyans, even as you celebrate whatever little there may be to celebrate about Jamhuri this year, please remember that you have a date with destiny in 2027. You must all participate in liberating this country. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. May I now invite my brother Linturi alete salamu. Thank you. Karibu Chief.
Thank you very much. Let me also join my friends and colleagues in wishing Kenyans a happy Jamhuri, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. But at the same time, say I associate myself with the statement that has been read on behalf of the United Opposition, or the United Opposition. But maybe probably to just want or two remind Kenyans that they should never take William Ruto seriously, because when he stands before cameras and the country purporting to be a fighter of corruption, I think the best we can describe him is the prince and the lord of corruption and impunity in this country, which we must all join hands together as a people to fight. His priorities are upside down, and they are never intended to be for the best interests of the people of Kenya. People have talked, or we have talked about the decreased capitation as we get into next year, and the whole idea is for them to mess completely with the education system, where you know the best equalizer for everyone is education. I saw somebody the other day trying to work out figures on the extent and the irony that the government has in terms of supporting children in this country, and where he had put in a budget of 3 billion against 10,000 children going to school. And when you worked out the math, you realized the budget for every child in every year was 300 shillings, and then went further to break it down, say assuming even one child was to stay in school for 200 days, then the budget was 1 shilling for food. So how serious is William Ruto when he knows the best thing that we can do is to have a serious system properly funded? And I pray and ask Kenyans to join us in this struggle, because the opposition is so bent to ensuring that education is accessible to all Kenyans. He was really serious. You know, when you look at the kind of money that is allocated to as the education budget, that goes to CDF, that goes to counties, and these other institutions, that the end effect is to really deal with the psychological independence, or the psychological feeling of a parent that is in need, in terms of making him a beggar to go and ask for money to pay children. The effect on the child and the parents is so huge. So we want a system whereby education can be fully funded, so that we don't have, as a parent, to be queuing before or lining up in the offices of members of parliament or the governors or everybody else to ask you for money. You know, begging is the worst form of a thing that we really want to believe, to see himself in, because it's not the best state. So people make in decisions that are based on problems is not the best. So I want to tell the country that we are committed. I want to invite all those Kenyans that are out there to know that these leaders are only there to lead this fight, and we want, and because at the end tumeshika kichwa pale na masikio ya simba, nyinyi mndiro na mateke, but will not be count, but to move forward to ensuring that we have a country that is good, a country that has equal opportunity for everyone. Thank you, and thank you.
I think we can take a few questions. We had other functions from here. We have other leaders who are with us, but they may not have a chance because of time. We have Senator Orioba with us here, representing our brother Fred Matiang'i. We have our chair PWD here. We have the youth leader Wiper. I think he was here with us. So tuko na majenzi pia. We'll take a few questions, please. Yes, Emmanuel To. And I think we have brought the greetings of Martha Karua through Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Thank you.
Out of the by-election. Just one question. And number two, just to inform the former deputy president, I'm one of those people who be using the Global Summit Road, so I'll check when
Thank you, Emmanuel. I think that's to tell you the battlegrounds were Malava and Bere. And we believe as a united opposition, we won both seats, but we are denied victory. And both are subject to serious legal challenges. We've taken almost 2 weeks. You remember it was this Thursday, 2 weeks ago, that the by-elections were held. Some were asking, why are you taking so long to address the matter or to file the matter? But Abraham Lincoln once said that when you are given an axe to cut a tree in a day, take 18 hours to sharpen the axe and 6 to cut it down. So we are ready to cut it down, and Kenyans will get to know the truth in court, how the Mbere by-election was stolen and Malava. Thank you. Yes.
My name is Ismi Chazima. I'm from 347.
Yes.
One question for the former AG. Yesterday, the president was speaking about the Kenya-US health framework deal, and he said that the current AG ratified the deal and it's airtight. As a person who held that office, do you believe that the current constitution of that office has the metal to tell the president that this is not right and this is right and wrong? And secondly,
I think that's a very good question.
I think the question will go to either,
That's why they kicked you out of that office. That's why you are kicked out.
And in our business of sourcing for information, sometimes we stumble on information that is true, and sometimes it's not true. So this is the information that I have stumbled upon, because you guys look live today. There is no Matiang'i, there is no Martha, Your campaign, the head of campaign secretariat is not here. There is talk that they've gone out there to form another coalition. Is that true?
Well, the question relating to what may have been cleared from the state law office is neither here nor there. But suffice to say, and I've said it severally, if you ever see William Ruto pursuing a matter that on the face of it appears to be public, for the benefit of the public, please be careful. Be careful. I've said it severally on many media houses. Be careful. But it is not for me really to say whether the opinions that may have come out of the state law office were fair or not fair. But suffice to say, any agreement with whomever on the face of the earth that purports to oust the jurisdiction of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 must be resisted, rejected, because it is unconstitutional ad initio. And I think in answering that way, I'm trying to address the point that may have been raised by many of you in the media, that indeed that agreement proposed to say that they don't want to hear anything about privacy laws, the privacy provisions in our Kenya Constitution. If it contains any such clauses, it is outrage, a fraud, because it's an affront to our Constitution, and we cannot allow it. But I'm grateful that at least we got some interim conservative orders suspending any further implementation of that agreement. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. I think that is, sorry? Yes, on opposition unity, we have said we are all together. You remember when it started here on 27th of January, we were with His Excellency Kalonzo, His Excellency Gachagua. Matiang'i was not here, but he sent Senator Onyonka. If you do recall, because we started the journey with you, today he has sent Senator Oriba is here with us. And Martha Karua spoke to His Excellency Kalonzo. They were together yesterday. She spoke to me. It's just that she's not available today. The festive season are set in. So treat those as rumors and speculations. They remain so, but we remain united and focused on the goal. Allow us, because we have other functions, please, to leave it at that, and to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now, may insist, Sana ya mwisho. Yes.
The question was to go to DCP leader, and he has greeted the podium.
Yes, it's all right. Thank you very much. Do have a Merry Christmas. Asanteni sana.